Hi, welcome to Maggie Chats Books. Today I'm going to do my weekly wrap up. This is really 2 weeks because last week I only read one book, and that book was Breaking Night by Liz Murray. It is a nonfiction book about Liz Murray's childhood and young adulthood. She and her sister were raised by drug-addicted parents. Both parents were addicted to cocaine. They lived in almost poverty level most of their childhood and oftentimes went to bed with nothing to eat. By 15, Liz was living on the streets of New York, either with friends and riding the subway all night or on stairwells, and was a dropout of high school. She decided to turn her life around, went back to high school, got her diploma, and was accepted into Harvard. And so her life is really quite a success, and she talks about her life dealing with her parents. I found this story very, very touching. I was amazed at how much love she had for her parents despite the fact that they were very neglectful of them. There's a lot of things that she dealt with that are just totally almost unbelievable that somebody that young would have to deal with what she dealt with. Overall, I thought the book was really good. I listened to this on an audiobook. It was narrated by the author, and she did a wonderful job of narrating the book without being over dramatic, which also made it very moving, I thought. So I gave that one 4 stars. This week I read 4 books, 1 audiobook, 1 Kindle book, and 2 regular books. The first book was on Kindle, and it was In the Time of Butterflies by Julia Alvarez. This was our Read Around the World book club book. It is a true story. It's a fictional account of a true story of the Maribel sisters who lived in the Dominican Republic. During the 1960s, they opposed the Trujillo dictatorship. There were 4 sisters. 3 of them were eventually killed for their opposition of the government. And what I thought would be a very, very moving story. The book was very good. It was a very easy read, but I thought, as well as many other people that read the book at the same time, felt it was too light for the very important and moving subject that it was dealing with. So, from one hand, the book was good, but on the other hand, I don't think it did justice to the sisters or their fight and everything that they went through. So, for a good read, I recommend it. It's just not what I thought it was going to be. The next book I read was Bonfire by Christian Ritter. This one was recommended by several people. It got great reviews. It was on a lot of people's best of 2017 list. I found it mediocre. I just didn't see the greatness of this book. It was a good mystery, went along very well, very entertaining. It's a very short read, so I thought it was a good book. But it didn't have that wow factor for me. It reminded me a lot of a John Grisham book where you fight corporate greed, and that was in here. So I recommend it. I think it's a good book, but I didn't think it would be ever a book that would be on my best of, or even the best mystery ever read. So it's a good book, just not a great book. I'll say that, and but I did enjoy it. The next book I read was We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. This book I heard a lot about last year and the year before. It is a book about 3 teenagers. 3 of them are cousins, 1 is a friend. They go to their grandparents' island every summer. They are from a very well-to-do family. They have pretty much everything given to them. And you find out early on that something has happened, and the main character has amnesia and can't remember what happened. And so you, with her, find out what happened. I really enjoyed this book. I saw split reviews on it, but for me it was surprising. I did not guess what had happened, and I did not guess all the other things that went along with it. It's a really quick read, a really good book. I definitely enjoyed this one, and this is the deluxe edition. It has notes from the author, and she explained some of her motivation. I want to know why they were called liars. They actually didn't lie. It was just something that she thought of and decided not to explain in the book. So when I first talked about this book, I thought that they had told a lie and there was something that went on with that, but that's not the case. It has a mystery in here. I really enjoyed it, and I do recommend this one. And the last book that I listened to was an audiobook, and it was The Color Purple by Alice Walker. It was narrated by Alice Walker, and she did an awesome job. It was so good. I wanted to read women authors this month, but I also this year wanted to read Pulitzer Prize winners, and that is one I have not read. I think it won the Pulitzer in 82 or 83. This book is so moving. It is violent. It is scary. It's maddening. It is so emotional. Hearing her read this book, which she did so wonderfully, I just was so engrossed in it, and I felt really invested in the main character, Celie, who you follow. If you don't know anything about this book, it is about Celie, who grew up in the United States in about the 30s or 40s, I believe. She is a black woman who is mistreated most of her life, physically, mentally, sexually abused, and still she has such a spirit to her. A lot of the book is in letters, which I really enjoyed, and you see how she, with the help of other women, really discovers who she is and makes a better life for herself. It is great. I'm sure most of you read it, if being book lovers, but this was my first time, and I have not seen the movie. I do intend to watch the movie, but it was an awesome book. It is definitely a 5-star, and I can see why they gave it the Pulitzer Prize. So that's my weekly wrap up for this week. I am currently reading Kate Atkinson's Life After Life. I'm only 30 pages in so far. I am enjoying it. And I also plan to read a sci-fi because I kind of need a break from all these heavy books. So that's all for now. I hope you have a great week. I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.